Mallam Musa was known as the richest man in his village. He lived in a grand house with many rooms and a large compound filled with expensive cars. He had many workers who did everything for him. They cooked his meals, washed his clothes, and cleaned his house. But there was one room in Mallam Musa's house that was different from all the others. It was a small mysterious room at the back of the house. Mallam Musa never let anyone go near it. He told his workers, "No one is allowed to enter this room. I will clean it up myself." The workers found it strange. Why would a rich man like Mallam Musa want to clean one room by himself? They wondered if the room was special in some way. Maybe it was a prayer room or a place where he kept valuable things. They didn't question him, thinking it was just one of his quirks. Mallam Musa was a man who was loved and also loved to show his wealth. He would often go to parties and clubs, spending money freely. He would throw money around, making everyone at the club excited and amazed. But even though he had so much money, he never helped anyone in need. No matter how desperate someone looked, Mallam Musa would not lend them money or offer any assistance. He would only spend money on himself or on things like fancy dinners and expensive parties. His workers saw him eating from the golden plate and living a life of luxury. They admired his wealth but couldn't help but be curious about the forbidden room. The more they saw how Mallam Musa acted, the more they wondered what he was hiding. Why was he so secretive about that room? What was so important or strange about it that he didn't want anyone else to see? The room became a topic of gossip among the workers. They started to share their theories. Some thought the room might be full of gold and jewels. Others thought it might be a secret place where Mallam Musa did something mysterious. Their curiosity grew, and the workers began to feel unease about the room. They knew they had to respect Mallam Musa's wish, but they couldn't stop wondering what lay behind that locked door. Little did they know that this curiosity would lead them to a series of events that would reveal a dark and shocking truth about their master, Mallam Musa. Mallam Musa was famous not only for his immense wealth, but also for his extravagant lifestyle. Every week, he would host grand parties and visit the most luxurious clubs in the village. His presence at these places were always marked by lavish display of money. He would throw bills around, making it rain on everyone in the vicinity, and everyone would cheer and praise him. Despite his generosity in public, Mallam Musa was known to be incredibly stingy. No matter how dire someone's situation was, he would never lend them money or offer any help. Villagers would come to him with pleas, hoping he might spare a little of his fortune. They would tell him stories of their hardship, showing desperation in their eyes, but Mallam Musa would turn them away with a cold heart. He would say things like, "It's not my problem if you don't have money. I worked for mine, and you should also do the same." This attitude earned him a reputation for being unkind and indifferent to the struggles of others. Mallam Musa's workers, who were the only ones he ever paid, saw this side of him every day. They worked hard, cleaning his house, preparing his meals and taking care of everything he needed. Yet they could not understand why someone so rich would be so unwilling to help others. They noticed that while he spent money freely at clubs and parties, he never shared his wealth with those who truly needed it. One day, one of his workers, a man named Ajayi, asked his colleagues, "Have you ever wondered why Mallam Musa got all his money? Where does he get all these things? All we see him do is to go to clubs. We never see him work or go to an office. Where does wealth come from?" Another worker coolly replied, "You are right, oh. I've never seen his parents or heard anything about his family. If his wealth was inherited, we would have heard about his family's riches." This conversation sparked more curiosity and suspicion among the workers. They began to question whether Mallam Musa's wealth was genuine or it was something more sinister behind it. The more they talked, the more they began to worry. They saw how Mallam Musa never helped anyone and always kept the room locked in secret. Rumors started to spread throughout the village. Some people said that Mallam Musa was involved in illegal activities, hiding something dangerous in that room. Others thought he might be involved in some dark magic or rituals. The workers themselves began to feel uneasy, wondering if they were safe while working with such a person with a secret. Mallam Musa's refusal to explain where his money came from or why he was so secretive about the room only fueled the rumors. His workers were growing more anxious and mystery of the forbidden room became a topic of great concern. What was it that Mallam Musa was hiding, and why was he so determined to keep it a secret? The forbidden room was the center of many conversations among the workers. Everyone had their theories, but no one knew the truth. The room was a small, unremarkable part of Mallam Musa's grand house, and it was surrounded by mystery. Mallam Musa was strict about the room. He had made it clear that no one was allowed to enter. He would say, "The room is for me and for me alone. I don't want anybody touching or even looking inside." His strict rules were meant to keep the room's contents hidden, but they only made the room more intriguing. Bimpe, one of the workers, was especially curious. She was dedicated to her job and wanted to show loyalty to Mallam Musa. She worked hard every day, cleaning the house from top to bottom. One day, she decided she would help Mallam Musa by cleaning the forbidden room. She thought it was unfair of him to do it alone, especially since he was so busy. After finishing her regular chores, Bimpe approached the door of the forbidden room. She knew she was breaking the rules, but her curiosity got the better of her. She reached for the doorknob, determined to do what she believed was a good deed. Just as she was about to open the door, Mallam Musa appeared from nowhere. He looked angry and rushed towards her. "Bimpe, what are you doing?" he shouted. "Didn't I tell you never to near this room?" Bimpe was startled and scared. She quickly stepped back and said, "I'm sorry, Mallam Musa. I just wanted to help you. I thought it would be better if I cleaned the room for you." Mallam Musa's face turned red with anger. "I don't want anyone in this room. I have told you before, and I'm telling you again, if you ever come near this room, you will lose your job. Do you understand?" Bimpe nodded, her heart pounding. She felt ashamed and frightened. She didn't want to lose her job, but she also didn't understand why the room was so important. She apologized again and left the room, feeling a mixture of fear and frustration. The other workers who had seen the confrontation began to whisper to themselves. They were now even more curious about the room. They wondered why Mallam Musa had reacted so strongly. What was in that room that made him so protective? The strict rules and Mallam Musa's angry reaction only made the room more mysterious. The workers began to question what could ever be so valuable or dangerous inside. They felt unease, knowing that their master was so secretive. The forbidden room became a symbol of the secret and hidden aspect of Mallam Musa's life. Bimpe's attempt to clean the room had only deepened the mystery. The workers were more determined than ever to find what was behind the locked door. Little did they know that their curiosity would lead them to uncover the truth about Mallam Musa's dark secret. After Bimpe's attempt to clean the forbidden room, the workers were filled with unease and suspicion. The mystery of the room had become the hottest topic among them. Each worker had their own theories and stories about what might be inside the room. The more they talked, the more their imagination ran wide. The workers gathered in the kitchen one evening, their voices low and filled with curiosity. "Have you heard what happened with Bimpe?" Ajayi asked, stirring a pot of stew. She tried to clean the forbidden room and Mallam Musa caught her. He was furious. "Yes, I heard," replied Kunle, who was busy chopping vegetables. "I don't understand why he's so protective of that room. He must be hiding very something that is important." Another worker, Amina, chimed in. "Some people say Mallam Musa is involved in illegal activities. Maybe he kept weapons or stolen goods in there." It is not uncommon for wealthy people to hide such. The workers nodded in agreement, their faces filled with concern. Or it could even be something worse, said Amina. I have heard rumors that he might be practicing dark magic or ritual. Maybe the room is a place where he performs these rituals to get his money. The idea of dark magic made the workers shiver. The village had old stories about people who made deals with supernatural beings for wealth and power. These stories were often frightening and filled with danger. The thought that Mallam Musa might be involved in such practices was unsettling. As the workers discussed, the conversation turned to Mallam Musa's unusual behavior. Have you noticed how he never helped anyone? Ajayi said. No matter how desperate someone is, he never gives them money or support. It's like he's afraid of something. Kunle agreed. It makes sense now. Maybe he's hiding something so terrible that he doesn't want anyone to know. His refusal to help others might be part of his deal with whatever that is behind that room. The workers began to piece together the strange behavior of their master, Mallam Musa's lavish lifestyle, his secrecy about the room, and his refusal to help others. All seemed to fit into a bigger, darker picture. They started to feel that there was something truly sinister about their employer. The whispers of secrets spread through the workers and even reached some of the villagers. People in the village began to talk about Mallam Musa and the forbidden room. The rumors grew more dramatic, with each telling so. The workers were torn between fear and curiosity. They knew they should not question Mallam Musa, but the mystery of the forbidden room was too strong. The idea of dark rituals and hidden secrets consumed their thoughts. They began to wonder if they were even safe working with someone who is so enigmatic. Bimpe, on the other hand, couldn't forget and couldn't stop thinking about the forbidden room. After her confrontation with Mallam Musa, her curiosity only grew stronger. She was determined to find out what was inside the room. The secrecy and the way Mallam Musa had reacted made her more resolved to uncover the truth. Every day, as she went about her duties, Bimpe's mind kept drifting back to the mysterious room. She would often catch herself daydreaming about what could be hidden behind the locked door. Her curiosity was no longer just about the room itself, but also about why Mallam Musa was so desperate to keep it a secret. Bimpe started to observe Mallam Musa closely. She watched his every move, paying attention to when he went to the room and how he acted when he was near it. She noticed that he had a strict routine. Every night around 11 p.m., he would leave quietly in his bedroom and head towards the forbidden room. Bimpe made sure to follow him from a distance, careful not to be seen. She would wait until he was safely inside the room before attempting to approach the door. She needed to be cautious because she knew that if Mallam Musa caught her trying to enter the room again, she would be in serious trouble. One night, Bimpe decided that she would take her chances. She watched from a hidden spot as Mallam Musa walked slowly and quietly towards the room. He was carrying a small key, which he used to unlock the door. He looked around carefully, as if making sure no one was watching. After he entered and closed the door behind him, Bimpe felt a surge of excitement and nervousness. She waited for a few moments to make sure that Mallam Musa was inside and then approached the door. She had to be very quiet and careful. She touched the doorknob and turned it slowly. The door creaked slightly, but Bimpe managed to push it open, just enough to slip inside. As she entered the room, Bimpe was struck by a strange and ill feeling. The room was dimly lit, and she could see shadows moving on the walls. Her heart was pounding as she looked at the surrounding. What she saw was beyond her wildest imagination. The room was filled with strange symbols and objects. There were dark, robed figures moving around, their faces hidden in the shadows. They were handing out money to people who looked desperate and poor. The people receiving the money seemed to be in a trance, their eyes vacant and lost. Bimpe's eyes widened in horror. as she realized that these robed figures were not just ordinary people, but demonic beings. The scene behind her was like something out of a nightmare. She was terrified, but also deeply shocked by what she saw. Unable to contain her fear and disbelief, Bimpe shouted, "Mallam Musa, is this how you get your money?" Her voice echoed in the room, and the rough figures turned towards her, their eyes glowing a menacing light. In an instant, everything around her began to dissolve. The room and the figures and the eerie scene vanished. Bimpe found herself in the house, the forbidden room now completely gone. Mallam Musa was nowhere to be seen, and all the luxurious possession had disappeared. Bimpe stood there, stunned and confused. She had uncovered something no one else knew. The house, the cars, and everything Mallam Musa owned had vanished into thin air. She felt a mixture of fear and determination. She had seen something terrible, and she needed to tell others about it. Bimpe's discovery of the forbidden room left her in a state of shock. The grand house, once filled with luxury and wealth, had now vanished completely. The cars, the furniture, and the golden plates were all gone. Bimpe was left standing in an empty space, her mind racing with questions and fears. She knew that she had to act quickly. The villagers needed to know what she had seen. Bimpe hurriedly made her way outside, her heart pounding with urgency. As she reached the street, she saw the villagers gathering, drawn by the commotion and the sudden disappearance of Mallam Musa's wealth. People were shouting, trying to make sense of what had happened. "Where is the house? Where are the cars?" they demanded. The scene was chaotic, with everyone trying to understand the sudden and mysterious vanishing of Mallam Musa's possession. Bimpe stepped forward, her voice trembling but determined. "I know what happened. I saw it all. Mallam Musa was hiding something terrible in that forbidden room." The villagers turned to her, their curiosity piqued. "What do you mean?" someone asked. "What did you see?" Bimpe took a deep breath and began to explain. "The room was not like any other room. When I went inside, I saw dark robed figures handing out money to people. They looked like demons, and the people receiving the money were in a trance. It was a place of dark rituals and evil." The villagers listened in shock and disbelief. The idea that Mallam Musa was involved in demonic rituals was hard to accept, but Bimpe's description was vivid and frightening. The villagers began to murmur among themselves, their fear growing. "Mallam Musa must have made a deal with the demons," Bimpe continued. "He sacrificed his family for his wealth, and that is why he was so secretive. He had to collect the money from the demons every night." The crowd grew restless. "How could he do such a thing?" someone asked, horrified. "He sacrificed his own family for money?" "Yes," Bimpe confirmed. "He used his parents and siblings for those rituals. He was warned never to help others or lend money, and he had kept the room hidden, and that is why everything vanished when I shouted." The villagers were outraged. They felt betrayed and angry that someone they trusted had been involved in such dark and evil practices. They demanded that Mallam Musa confess his crime and face his justice. Mallam Musa, now stripped of his wealth and facing the wrath of the villagers, appeared in the middle of the crowd. He looked desperate and frightened. "Please," he cried, "don't harm me. I will tell you everything. I made a terrible mistake. It was poverty and greed that led me to do this. I didn't know how to get out of the deal." The villagers, enraged by his confession, began to shout and demand justice. "You betrayed us. You sacrificed your own family. You deserve to be punished." Mallam Musa fell on his knees, pleading for mercy. "Please, give me one more chance. I will make amends. I will do everything." But the villagers were unforgiving. They dragged Mallam Musa to the edge of the village, where there was a dark, foreboding forest, known for being the place where those who committed grave offenses were punished. The forest was feared by everyone, a place from which no one returned. The villagers pushed Mallam Musa into the forest, leaving him to face his fate. Bimpe watched as the man, who was once so powerful and wealthy, was now abandoned and vulnerable. The tale of Mallam Musa's forbidden room and his dark secret became a powerful story in the village. It served as a warning about the dangers of greed, the consequences of making deals with evil forces, and the importance of honesty and integrity.